You can join us live for our next BookFunnel webinar. Check out the link in the description for more details. We hope to see you there.
Good to go. So Elise has a question. I'd like to know if my books are nonfiction and on pre-order on my website, how do I do that? I use Stripe. All right. So good question, Elise. So sales here on your dashboard is where you would want to go in order to set up sales integration. From there, you can go to your delivery settings and select the platform that you want to connect BookFunnel to. And you can set up pre-orders. You can set up immediate delivery, all that kind of stuff. However, BookFunnel does not at this time integrate with Stripe. So what you might want to do is take a look at some of the options that we have here and decide, okay, or do you want to stick with Stripe or maybe switch to something like Shopify, PayHip, Lemon Squeezy, something like that, whatever fits best for you, and go that route instead. This is what I would encourage authors to do, especially if you are kind of at the beginning stages of setting up a direct store. PayHip is probably the easiest platform to set up, in my opinion, and just have it ready to go real quick if you're wanting to do direct sales. But if you are wanting to do some more advanced things, Shopify and Thrivecart are more on that advanced side of things that would have some features comparable to Stripe. If you are like married to Stripe on that front, you're like, nope, I'm going with Stripe and that's what I'm going to do. There is kind of a workaround. It is a little technical, but of course you can sell with any platform. I'll give you the simple version first. You can sell with any platform, that even a platform that BookFunnel doesn't connect to, and just give readers access to a landing page link after they have, after they have purchased the book. So you can just give them access to that link. Now, that's not quite as secure as BookFunnel Sales Delivery. BookFunnel Sales Delivery delivers a private link to that reader, and that's limited by device and IP address. So that means that it's not easy for them to just take that and then just share it with the whole world, right? However, if you were to deliver a link like this, somebody could share that link. That might not be what you want to do. I totally understand. But if you're not really concerned with that end of things, then that's a very simple way to do it. Otherwise, a restricted landing page would be what I would recommend. A restricted landing page requires the reader to confirm that they are on your mailing list before they can download the book. Now, you might be saying, Stripe isn't a mailing list service. No, it's not. But it does integrate with mailing list services like MailerLite. So I'll use MailerLite as an example here. Stripe, when somebody makes a purchase through your store on Stripe, Stripe can add them to a group in MailerLite. That can trigger an automation sequence to send them a link to a BookFunnel restricted page. And if you would need MailerLite connected to Stripe under your integrations, BookFunnel will check that list and confirm that they're a subscriber. So in that way, it can work, but you would need something to connect Stripe to BookFunnel. In this case, MailerLite is one example. Another example is a service like Zapier, which is even more technical if you're wanting to go down that road, but there are ways to do it. You would just need an intermediary service to connect the two. So question here from Meg. I have gone to Draft to Digital for a UBL. Could I have done that through BookFunnel? Absolutely. In fact, nothing wrong with Draft to Digital. The folks at D2D are great. If you're using one of their landing pages, they work well. Obviously, our universal book links, I don't know if we have some features and functions that maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm not gonna throw them under the bus, right? Or anything like that. But yes, you could do something very similar. And in fact, if you are adding, let me show this here. I have to select a book, so we'll go with this one, and we'll do a universal book link here real quick. You can actually fetch your links from Books to Read. So if you're using Books to Read is Draft to Digital's UBL service. If you have a Books to Read link, you can put it in here and BookFunnel will take those links from the Books to Read link and add them here automatically for you. So if you want to do both of them, right? If you're using a Books to Read link somewhere else, totally fine. The thing about universal book links from BookFunnel, you can use those in sales promos. So that's the obvious advantage to those versus B2R links. So you could just fetch from that. And then if you want to do sales promos, it makes that pretty straightforward. There was a question from Carrie here about universal book links. What are they? I think I kind of went over it, but just to make sure, a universal book link is a landing page that will connect readers to whatever stores you have available where your books can be purchased. So in this case, here we have what looks like a normal landing page. We have our cover, we have text we can customize, of course, but we can add different store buttons. We are actively adding more store icon options here to this as well. So I know there's a few more we've added. since this page was created. We also have things like Kickstarter, Patreon is on here. And we have things like for under audiobooks, we have like YouTube, Spotify, that sort of thing. Right. So there's a number of options there for you. But basically, readers come to this page and they either click on a store icon or they click on a button and then they get taken somewhere else to purchase your book. Right? And this could even be your direct store, for example. A question from Elise: will this session be recorded? I just got double booked. Sorry, I got to go. No problem. Yes, we are recording, and a replay will be available. You should be available. Typically, I try to get them the next day. If not, by the end of the week. Yes, you will get an email with a link and everything. Let's see here. Okay, so we have a question. How do I use BookFunnel to send a copy of my book to a reviewer? Well, that's a good question. There's a few ways that you can do that. BookFunnel's delivery features are basically interchangeable, depending on how you want to use them. But we do have a feature that's specifically designed for certified mail, or designed for delivering ARCs or review copies, which is called certified mail. I misspoke there. However, you could use a landing page, for example, if you wanted to. You could use bulk delivery, or you could gift a book to an individual reader. So there's multiple ways that you could do that. If you're wanting that reader to be the only reader who has access to it, then something like gift a book or certified mail would be the way to go. If you're sending one book to one reader, then gift a book is probably ideal. I can send them, I can choose which book to give them. I can edit a custom message for that reader, and it sends a private link off to them. Again, private links are limited by IP address and device. Gives the reader a little bit of flexibility. They can read on a couple different devices. They can read it working at home, right? But if they try to share that link out there in the ether and a bunch of people try to access it, it will expire. Right. Certified mail is ideal if you are sending a campaign to multiple readers. So in this case, I have some of the same email customization options. I can customize the message, but I'm going to add a whole list of email addresses here. By default, most accounts, you have the ability to send 500 emails per month this way. So if you have an ARC team that's like 500 readers, you can send it to them all at once. Certified mail also can send follow-up emails and reminders. So this reminds them, hey, I sent this to you, right? Maybe a week ago or something. Make sure you download it and read it. And then a follow-up once the campaign has ended, which this might be on or after release day, that says, here's where you're going to go to write your review, and provide them a link. Certified mail gives you a few extra features and works really well if you're sending ARCs to a group of readers, not just one. But like I said, there's a number of ways that you could. Again, gift a book will work. Bulk delivery can also work for ARC teams. Bulk delivery is great if you have large ARC teams. In fact, if you have a large ARC team, more than 500 readers, I recommend you reach out to BookFunnel support, and we can give you unlimited bulk deliveries. And so you can send as many as you want, and they get added to that reader's BookFunnel library, and they can access an ARC. All right, next question here. And this is a bit of a long one, which is great. I love long questions, but let's get into this here. So I have a question about list building as a first-time author through BookFunnel. I just uploaded my first book as a new author. It'll be available for free on Amazon, and I will be building my list through targeted ads and other promotional efforts. Apart from promo-specific rules on BookFunnel, are there any general rules that prohibit brand new authors from participating in promos? There's a few more questions here, but I'm going to answer this one first. Generally, no. Right? If you go to the BookFunnel, the group promos board, and you look at any promos on here, these are open to new authors, generally speaking. Some promos may have a mailing list size requirement that will be listed in the promo requirements. So if I'm scrolling through here, I can see if there was a requirement for a mailing list size, it would show up usually here. If there's a note from the organizer saying, hey, this isn't available for new authors, you need to have a mailing list of this size, then you would want to make sure you meet those requirements or not, right? One or the other. So that would be the only thing. You'll just want to make sure you read the requirements before you join a promo. But generally speaking, promos are open to new authors or authors who are new to BookFunnel as well. So that's no problem. The only other thing too, I guess I should mention, this doesn't come up very often, but sometimes reputation requirements are part of joining a promo. Oops, I'm on the wrong page. Your reputation is shown here on your dashboard for newsletter and sales promos. A 0-0 reputation means you've done 0 promos, and in those 0 promos, you've got 0 clicks, right? So this is the number of promos you've completed, and this is the average number of clicks you got. Sometimes authors will post promos that say you have to have done at least this many promos, or you have to have at least this amount of this average number of clicks. That can sometimes come up. But for the most part, if you're a new author, that's not going to be a problem. You're going to be able to join even if your reputation is 0-0. If you do have questions, you can actually contact the organizer. Let me show you how you would do this here. So if you're looking at the promo, right, you can scroll down. Oops, actually it's up here at the top. I'm used to seeing this as an admin. And as an admin, it's in a different place. But right up here at the top, you can get the author's contact information. Hey, this looks like a good guy here. Anybody notice this is one of my promos, right? So you can reach out to the organizer ahead of time, be like, hey, I'm a brand new author. Here's my situation. Is it cool if I join your promo? Most organizers can be like, yep, no worries. That's not a problem. So to continue for a few additional questions here, what are some of the best practices for new authors? For example, do I need to wait until I have at least 100 subscribers? I've watched the other webinars and that mention not participating in too many promos at once and pacing your efforts. So yes, number one best practice is don't participate in too many promos at once. That's the number one thing. I generally recommend authors, you want to try to get 30 clicks on any promos that you share, right? So when you join a promo, you get a link to it, you share that with your readers. We actually have a couple of sessions that go over this on our orientations playlist on the BookFunnel YouTube channel. I go over this in detail. Right, so 30 clicks is what I usually tell people to aim for. If you're brand new, you might not get there right away, but after you grow your list, right, and you've got some readers on your list, getting 30 clicks is usually pretty easy. Right. And then if you're doing that and it's going fine, and now you're getting like 60 clicks on a promo each month, well, you can probably add another promo to your monthly rotation and you can start doing 2 promos a month, right? And kind of go from there, or go until the point where you get that diminishing returns, right, so to speak. And you start to see like, oh, okay, I don't want to fall under 30. I might be doing too much, right? The reason why goes back to reputation. If your reputation score falls below I think 20 and 10 is where we have it right now. So it's 20 promos completed with less than 10 average clicks. You are blocked from joining most promos if that's the case. That means that it doesn't block beginners, right? It requires that you've completed 20. So if you haven't completed 20 yet, you're still going to be fine. But after you've completed 20, you have that grace period there. If your average clicks are below 10, then you'll be blocked from participating in promos. You'll want to reach out to BookFunnel author support. We can help you repair that reputation, give you a little bit of coaching, and usually reset your reputation so you can give it another shot and do things the right way. But otherwise, you don't need to wait until you've got 100 subscribers. Best practices are really to share the link with your readers on the date you promised to. Don't do too many promos at once. Don't load up your calendar with promos, that sort of thing. I do go into a little bit of detail on, there's a few things here for you guys. If you guys haven't watched the group promos session, I recommend you check that one out. And another one that's worth watching is the turbocharging your newsletter swaps. It's newsletter swaps is what it's talking about, but it applies to promos as well. And I have a few methods in there that can help you actually more efficiently share your promos. And the more effective you are in sharing promos with readers, the more promos that you can participate in. So I recommend you check out both those sessions. The group promos session is going to be very basic, and then this one is a little bit more advanced, but still useful. Let's see here. So we have a question from Scott. I purchased integrations, which is, for those who don't know, that is an upgrade to the mid-list author plan. This allows you to connect your mailing list service with BookFunnel. So when you collect emails through a landing page, they get sent there right away. Oh, okay, there we go. It was taking its time. I was thinking there for a second, right? So Scott says, I purchased integrations. When I tried to create a new landing page for my second book, for an ARC invite, it said that I'm limited to 2 integrations. How can I create my next ARC invite when I already have 2 landing pages? All right. So Scott, a couple things here. First off, the integrations that you're limited to aren't actually the number of landing pages. In fact, you can connect as many landing pages as you want to a single integration. You'll see here for MailerLite, I have 6 pages connected to MailerLite. I could make 100 pages and connect them all to MailerLite. All right, so BookFunnel doesn't care about the number of landing pages. What the issue is the number of integrations. So you'll see here I have MailChimp and I have MailerLite. For the mid-list author plan, that's the limit. So I can be connected to 2 services, if you will. In all likelihood, you may have created a duplicate integration if you went to your integration settings and started there. So I recommend reaching out to BookFunnel author support. I can't look at your dashboard directly from here, and I wouldn't do that here on Zoom in front of everybody. So reach out to support and they can take a direct look at your dashboard and help you out. Because in all likelihood, that might be what happened. That sounds like that's what's going on. But you should be able to connect your landing pages to your existing integrations. There's a couple of the things that I'm thinking of that could be going on here. But again, I need to see your dashboard. So if you reach out to us, support at bookfunnel.com, and let us know, we can help you directly there. But you are not limited in terms of the number of landing pages that you can connect. It's the number of services that you can connect to BookFunnel. That makes sense. On the bestseller plan, for example, you get a third integration. Publisher plans have access to more integrations as well, that sort of thing. Let's see. Excuse me. So Diana has a question here. If we pay for the monthly ARC promo, we still have to choose a date to promote. Can we just ignore that? My first promo just ended. I think I got 136 clicks. Is that a big enough number to be accepted into most other promos? Do subsequent promos add to that number? Okay, good question. So Diana, I think you're asking about a boosted promo where the organizer is, in fact, it might be me, now that I'm thinking about it. It might have been one of my promos, if I'm not mistaken. So good to meet you, Diana. So yeah, basically, you do still have to choose a date when you join a boosted promo. For those who don't know, we have a webinar on this too. This is one of our older ones. Whoops, here we go. Let me go to the playlist. You can join us live. There, I'm doing it. I don't know what I'm doing. Check out the link. There we go. I clicked the wrong button. There we go. Boosted promos. We have this webinar here that goes into detail on that, on what they're all about, and how you would do them. In a boosted promo, the organizer will accept payment from the participants in order to run ads, generally, to drive more readers to the promo. Just means that more readers are going to discover it, that sort of thing. I host these as well. Right. And so I do host some promos in science fiction and fantasy where I allow the participants to boost their promo or boost the promo for other people. One of the things that I do, and I want to explain this here just so everybody else understands, one of the things that I do, and I encourage other authors who do boosted promos to do, is what I call a set it and forget it sort of thing. And this is where, as the organizer, I will share your tracking link for you. And so that's what Diana is talking about here. I didn't mean to turn this conversation into something about me, but that's what she's asking about. When I do that, and each organizer is going to be different, but when I do that, I don't require you to have to share that link if you don't want to. If you do, it's great and it helps everybody and the promo, and that's wonderful. But right, you don't have to if you sign up for the set it and forget it. It's usually like $15, I think, in most promos or something like that. And that is, I drive clicks to your link for you and then use that to run ads to bring more readers to the promo, right? 36 clicks is actually more than enough to get you in most all promos. Right? That's plenty, right? Like I said, the minimum number that you should aim for is like 30 clicks if you're sharing it with your newsletter, right? But, right, anything above that is great. Subsequent promos are going to add to that average. So again, if we go back to your promos here, and it's not great, it's not a great illustration because these are both zeros. But again, you'll see as you complete more promos, that first number is going to go up. And then this number here is an average. So it will change, especially if you're new to BookFunnel. It might change a lot at first. You're doing your first few promos and that number is going to change quite a bit. If you've done a lot of promos, that number will change. It takes more to make that number change. The idea being that, again, your reputation should show over time the amount of traffic that you bring to BookFunnel promos. Again, whether or not that's traffic that you have, for example, brought from sharing with your mailing list, posting it on social media, you can run ads to your promos. For example, in this case, you're doing a boosted promo and I'm sharing the link for you. However you're getting that traffic, right, is fine. But yeah, that average number will change as you add more to it. Diana, I hope that answers your question. Thanks for participating in my promos and helping out with that. I did recognize your name there for a second. Like, that looks familiar. Now I know why. But yeah, if you have any follow-up questions, let me know. I'm going to try to get through here. We got about 20 minutes left. There's plenty of time for us to get through some more questions here on BookFunnel. Let's see. Well, Carrie has a question here. I might have skipped over it previously. What exactly is BookFunnel? Well, that is a loaded question, Carrie. Well, I will say BookFunnel is a suite of tools that allows you to connect directly with your readers and deliver your books directly to them. Generally, that's how I say it. Like when I'm talking to my in-laws and they're like, what is your job again? What do you do? That's kind of how I explain it, right, to people. Basically, you as the author have all of BookFunnel's tools to deliver your books to readers. That includes landing pages. These are probably the most common thing that people see. Create a landing page where people can come find your book and they can download it, join your mailing list. We showed a universal book link right here as well. So I can put these landing pages different places. These can go in the back matter of my books. I can send them in my newsletter. I can run ads to them. There's a lot of ways to drive traffic to landing pages. We talked about certified mail. I can send ARCs to a list of readers. I can gift book to individual readers. I can use bulk delivery. This is designed specifically for things like Kickstarter and Patreon. I can just deliver a book or a group of books to a whole list of readers all at once. You're doing a Kickstarter campaign. It's a great way to do that. Print codes. This is another delivery feature that BookFunnel has. You create a batch of printable download codes, right? And I can add a certain number of codes here and choose how I want them to be delivered. And then I can print those codes onto like postcards and give them out to people at in-person events. They get their books through BookFunnel. Right. So we have a number of different features and ways for you to get your books to your readers. And then how you use those features is kind of up to you, right? For example, print codes, most authors think of them like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to a conference. I'm going to hand out my reader magnet. And that's cool. Some people will take those print codes and they'll sell their books in person because they want to sell their physical books, but they also want to sell maybe their ebooks and audiobooks. And it's a little hard to do that without something tangible to give somebody. So you create batches of print codes, you put them on postcards with a cover, you make it look all nice. And then somebody buys your audiobook there at like the arts festival, at your local arts festival or something. Maybe you get a booth there and you give them a card that has the download link and the download code, and they download their book that way. Right. So again, and to give you a third example, we've had organizations like, for example, there's I don't know that we've had any like major universities, but like a nursing program where they have students signing up for classes, right? And they use BookFunnel to deliver print codes to all the students who signed up for a class. That's how they get their textbook, for example. So just this one feature could be used in several different ways, if that makes sense. Group promos and author swaps are also part of BookFunnel. It's a way for you to cross-promote with other BookFunnel authors. And so that's an aspect of BookFunnel that people hear a lot, but really that's like a secondary part of BookFunnel. The primary aspect of BookFunnel is giving you tools to get your books in the hands of readers digitally. And then we also give you group promos and author swaps where you can find other authors in your genre and cross-promote with them right here on BookFunnel. Right? Some people think that BookFunnel is like a marketing service. And so they sign up for BookFunnel. They're like, hey, where's all my readers? I just want to pay you to give me readers. We don't do that, right? There are services out there that do, and that's great, right? There are services out there that actually rely on BookFunnel's landing pages. There's a number of services like that where they do the promotion part, but you have to give them a BookFunnel landing page. So there's lots of intersecting things in the industry. And I understand that sometimes it's like seeing the forest through the trees can be kind of tricky, but that's the idea. I should have mentioned direct sales. You can set up a store on any of these platforms. BookFunnel delivers for you, and we offer customer support for your readers if they have trouble getting their books. So like I said, that's just another way that BookFunnel gets books to readers, but that's kind of the gist of it, right? We give you multiple different ways to get books to readers, and then you can utilize those tools or whatever you need. Okay, so Fern has a follow-up question here about sending books to reviewers. What's the cost for sending a book to a reviewer? The cost is your BookFunnel plan. All of BookFunnel's features are included in whatever your plan level is. So we'll scroll down here and I'll show you our account plans, right? So first time author plan, $20 a year. That basically allows you to use download pages, simple download pages. ARC delivery through certified mail and a bunch of our other features are available on the midlist author plan. That's $100 a year or $10 a month. And there's additional plans beyond that too. Like if you want to integrate or you need more pen names, the bestseller plan, that's really where that kind of thing comes into play. But most of our features are on the midlist author plan. There's no additional charge to send certified mail, right? Or utilize any of these features. They're included with your plan. So as long as your plan includes the features you need, you're good to go. Let's see here. Scott asks, how do you create a promo? Good question. All right, let's do it. All right. So if we go to group promos, we want to first go up here to the action button. And we're going to post a new promo. Now, before you do this, like if you're brand new to BookFunnel, I'd recommend you participate in a few promos in your genre first, just to see. I'd also recommend you go through the promos board here and then look around and see what do I have going on. If maybe I'm in children's books. We have a small number of children's books promos because there's just fewer authors in that genre. So look and see what's here already. And maybe you can add to one of these niches or genres, or maybe your niche is different and you want to create something new that's not there. Totally fine. We're going to go ahead and post a promo. And from here, we are going to give our promo a name. I would recommend just being to the point, like what it's about, what genre it's for, or subgenre or niche. Include that in the name. The type of promo. Is it a newsletter promo? Is it a sales promo? Right? Is this private? Do you want to invite people by giving them a link, or do you want it to be posted to the BookFunnel promos board and public so that authors can find it? You have to add a link. This is where you put in essentially the URL that the promo is going to use. You can then select the genres, up to 3. So if we're doing children's books, maybe we want to do educational and early readers, right? For example. We are going to add our contact name and email so that authors can reach out to us if they have questions. And then we set the dates of the promo. So when does it start recruiting? When can authors start signing up? We can put a date in there. When is the end date for recruitment? When is the last day they can sign up? When does the promotion start? When does the promotion end? And that sort of thing. There's then requirements here. I encourage you to read through these things. Like obviously, if we're doing children's books, right, we want, right, there's things there that we would definitely want to check, but you'll also want to manually check these things. BookFunnel does not scan the contents of the books and go, oh yeah, this one is not erotica, or it's not sexually suggestive. This is just here so that when authors join the promo, they have to check a box that says, yes, my book is not erotica, or my book is not sexually suggestive, or the cover is not sexually suggestive. That way that when they join the promo and they clearly didn't meet the requirements, they can't say that they didn't know, right? That's what we have that there for, right? But you'll still need to look at the books in your promo and make sure that they're a good fit and remove the ones that are not. Then moderation options are maybe a little advanced. This is the standard block that we have. By default, you can change this. I don't recommend doing that if you're kind of new to hosting promos. And then a promo description would be where you'd put in details about the promo. You can communicate additional information to the authors that are participating. And then once you have all that ready to go, you can post it and it will go live on the promos board. Authors will find it. They can join it. And there you go. You can add your own books to your own promos as well. So you can do that too. Hopefully that answers your question, Scott. Here we have a couple more questions and about 10 minutes to go. We should be good here. If there's more questions, feel free to put them in the Zoom chat. We'll try to, because I do have another webinar immediately after this, I'll try to wrap up just like a couple minutes before the top of the hour. But Carrie asks, I think this was the question about BookFunnel and what it is. Following up here, so I could use your platform to promote my book in addition to all the other PR I am doing. Yes, Carrie, you absolutely could. Using group promos and author swaps is a great way to, on BookFunnel, add to any other PR that you're doing elsewhere. The advantage of BookFunnel promos and swaps is you are finding other authors who are in your genre. That does depend a little bit on there being authors who are here on BookFunnel in your genre. Like I pointed out, children's books, it's a little bit smaller group, but if you find a tight-knit group of authors who are right there, you're kind of very close in genre and niche, it can still be effective, right? But finding authors in your genre and cross-promoting with them. Again, whenever an author participates in a promo, they generally have to share that with their mailing list. And so they're sharing it with their mailing list, right? And they have readers on their mailing list that would like your book, right? And so they're going to see your book when they visit that promo, and they're going to, if it's a sales promo, they might buy it. Or if it's a newsletter promo, they might download your reader magnet, join your mailing list, and now they're on your mailing list too, right? So yes, that's the idea. It can supplement other things that you're doing. If you're trying to like grow a list from scratch, it's a great way to do that. If you're trying to grow a mailing list in that way. But keep in mind, you want to layer your marketing efforts. So what I tell authors is like, okay, if you're just starting out and you're not doing anything to market your book, BookFunnel promos and swaps are a great way to start because like it's just your BookFunnel plan. There's no additional fee. Right. I know I did talk about boosted promos, and there's some of those out there where you can chip in a few bucks for an ad budget. Those are usually, cheaper than running ads yourself. Right. But you can start with those and they're generally free. Most promos are. You don't have to do those options. Right. If organizers are offering them, and you can grow your mailing list and you can get things started. You can get things going. And then after a while, maybe you layer something else on top of that. Right? Once you've got the handle promos and you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I feel comfortable with this. Then you layer something else on top of that. Maybe you're going to start doing Facebook ads. Okay, let Facebook ads, work for a while and figure it out and get it to a sweet spot. And then maybe you're going to layer something else on top of that. Or maybe not. Maybe that's enough, right? You don't have to do all the things, right? If you're looking at marketing, you'd be like, okay, well, I could start a podcast. I need an Instagram page. I need, an AI chatbot on Facebook, and slow down, right? Unless you have like an unlimited budget, let's work with what we've got. Like, and then let's layer things on top of each other. So yes, that's what I would say. In the roundabout way of answering your question, yes. Let's see. Okay, so Meg, follow-up question about UBLs. So if you have a UBL from elsewhere, where do you to put it on BookFunnel? So again, if you haven't created one yet on BookFunnel, you want to go to add a new landing page. You'll select the book you want to create it for. So whatever book you have, you'll need to have it on BookFunnel first. So make sure you've uploaded it. And then we'll choose the universal book link option. And then we can create the landing page just like we would anything else, customize it. If you're using B2R, a books to read link, copy and paste your books to read link and click this button here. And then you can paste it in here and it will fetch all those links from B2R already. If you're using a different service other than books to read for a universal link of some kind, that's fine. We can just click here to display ebook links. And now we got some text fields that we can customize. This is the text that's going to appear on the page. So like a heading and the text that's on the button and that sort of thing. The text or the link that is connected to the button, for example, that would be the link to your store, your primary store that you're wanting to focus on. And then we can add individual ebook stores. And so I can click the plus icon. I can select Amazon, and I'm going to put my link in here. And then maybe I have, let's see, Barnes & Noble. And I can put my link for Barnes & Noble in here. And I can just keep adding these in wherever, let's see, there we go, Nook. And for example, I can put my link in there. And so I would just add all those manually. Like I said, if you have a books to read link already, and you've done all that work for that one, I would use the fetch button and paste your B2R link in there. I hope that answers your question. And then once you save it, that link will be ready for you and you can put it out there in the wild and people can find it. Let's see here. Carrie says, thanks. This might be the impetus to get me to take the time to go through your webinar. Very interesting. Well, thank you. Very good. Let's see. Ern, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining. We're going to wrap up here because I do have this next session that we got to get to. We're going to be talking about connecting with readers. That's going to be starting here in just a few moments. And we're going to be doing another sneak peek of our ebook signing feature. So if you're sticking around for that, you'll get the chance to check that out. If not, a replay will be posted to the BookFunnel YouTube channel. Even if you didn't sign up for that webinar, you'll be able to come back and watch the replay. Again, I'm going to drop those links here that I posted earlier in case you need those. You can just copy and paste that whole message and take that if you need to. But this Q&A will be posted to this playlist here. This playlist is kind of basic. It's just these thumbnails I could make a little bit more fancy. I need to maybe mix things up a little bit, but I digress. You can actually go back to some of these other Q&As. All of our webinars include a Q&A at the end as well. So the idea is we want to give you as much information as we possibly can. So I want to thank you all for joining us today, or joining me, all of us. And hopefully I'll see you here in a few minutes for our upcoming webinar. If not, maybe join us for BookFunnel Live next month, where we're going to be at Author Nation in Las Vegas. If you can't join us in Vegas, right? But if you are going to be there in Vegas at Author Nation, come by the BookFunnel booth, say hi. We can shake hands, meet you in person, probably sign an ebook for you because we're going to be doing that a lot at Author Nation. And yeah, it'll be a good time. So thank you guys. If you have any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Support@bookfunnel.com. Again, if you just click the help icon, you can email us directly here from your dashboard, and we will get back to you as soon as we can to answer any of your questions. Thank you guys again. You guys have been great, and I'll hopefully see you here in just a few minutes. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos from BookFunnel, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.